Hi there, this is Derek from Volition Recording Studios. I hope you guys are doing well. Today, this is kind of more of showcasing kind of what I want to take this video to show you kind of what is happening to the music over time. Because a lot of people actually don't really understand what really is post-production and pre-production. So there's actually quite a difference. Post-production generally mentions about anything that happens after recording, so that will entitle mixing and mastering. So that's kind of what this video is going to show you. I'll say evolution of how the music will sound over time. We're going to start off with kind of the raw tracks. So a lot of people don't know that as soon as you start off music, it can vary in terms of volume level and how things are, depending on who recorded it, how it was recorded, what microphones. Like, there's a lot of stuff that goes into recording. I'm not going to bombard you with all that stuff. But if you are interested, do head over to my website, www.volitionmixing.com. If you want to learn more about mixing as a whole or just music production stuff, I do have a blog session there, so I do teach a bunch of that stuff. So I'm just going to play a little sample of the raw recording of what it sounds like with no alteration, just straight from the file, or sorry, I say folder, directly into the DAW. So I'm going to play a little sample for you guys to hear what it sounds like raw. Alright, so that was just a little sample of what audio sounds like raw, with no type of alteration to it. It was just how it was recorded, and this is how I hear it. So this is what raw recordings will sound. It will be different depending on who does it and, you know, of all the setup and everything to get to this point. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys what raw recording sounds like. Now we're gonna, through the power of editing, we're going to skip ahead and show you after what it sounds like once I've done the alterations to the mix, and I'll let you know kind of the breakdown of what this song needed specifically and what I did to it. All right, so we're just going to fast forward right now. Through the power of editing, I mixed the song. Let's actually take a listen to what it sounds like now to hear kind of what I've changed compared to the original. So that's kind of the alteration I did to this specific mix. So you heard the raw recording, what it sounded like without any alteration. This is kind of my addition to it. It might not sound very too drastically different compared to, you know, what you're expecting, but when it comes to mixing, really the important thing is you want to listen to see what you need to do for it. Not all the time you need to over process things, and sometimes it's just very subtle touches and subtle boosts and enhancements to the audio to really bring it out. And for this case, for this specific track, it didn't really need a whole lot. It already has the good premise, but the problem was like it just needed a little more touch up to bring out the elements a bit more. Going back to the raw recording track, as you guys heard what it initially sounded like, the problem with it was the saxophone, or in most cases, the guitar and the saxophone, although you can hear it well, it kind of has this very boxy, very muffled sound to it, almost like you're playing in a room. Like, take a listen to my audio now, like I'm talking to you now. Like this, there's a little bit of that. It feels a little covered. So in the case where the saxophone was recorded, you can hear it's inside of a room, which in most cases you want to isolate your sound, which is not like a bad thing, but you can hear that it suffers from kind of a bigger than life element. It just feels very confined, especially it is the lead focus of attention for this song. So what I did, my process behind it was listen to this track as a whole. If I over edited it by adding too much reverb or too much openness, it'll make it sound very artificial. And I think just listening to this song and really trying to understand what the artist is trying to do with this specific song is that they want to make this feel very homey, very lively, very intimate. So I didn't want to take away too much from it, but I've definitely felt the saxophone and just the guitar work and those elements need to be brought up a bit more. So if we take a look at what I've done, so if we go over here to my mix here, sorry, I'm just trying to pull that over here. So just running through the process in my head of what I've actually done to the mix is that I just wanted to add a touch of reverb so it opens up the space a bit more so it doesn't feel as confined. I don't want to overdo it so it sounds like a big hall or so it just sound too scattered. I want to keep the intimacy of what the saxophone and guitars were creating, that vibe. So that reverb I used was just very subtle just to make it sound more spacier and more bigger. A little bit bigger, not super duper big. But yeah, I just kept it very simple, added a load of reverb to it because I didn't want to take away too much from the original because the original is already very good. It sets the mood. It's very raw sounding. So I just want to add a little bit more to it so all the other features are brightened up or a little bit more. So I added a touch of reverb to give it more life, give it a little bit more breathing space. So instead of sounding like this a little bit more like a confined room, it sounds more like this. So more space to breathe. It feels more natural. I enhanced the guitar a bit more. So I focused more on I got the percussion to cut through a bit more. I used EQ to bring up certain elements of it more. So I wanted it to make the guitar more of a support role, elevating the song and giving more life to it. So when this video was recorded and while I was editing it, I kind of just kept on rambling. And I totally forgot to mention about the rest of the mixing process. So I do have to apologize for that because I completely forgot to record that and add that when I was doing recording. And yeah, so I pretty much found out too late. But anyways, there wasn't too much I added in terms of the mix itself. From what you saw with the EQ, I just did some very basic EQ enhancements and adjustments to the guitar and the saxophone. And from there, I just compressed it a little bit just so the guitar and the saxophone had enough room to sustain a little bit longer, and the percussive element is more pushed up. So that's kind of what I did for the mix, and I do apologize for not adding that in, having actual footage for that. I hope this little explanation here is enough to suffice, so I do apologize again. Well, back to the video. This is meant to be very raw, very organic, but at the same time, it could really make use with a light touch of enhancing the audio, making it sound more lively, and bringing up those elements a bit more. Again, special thanks to the artist. Again, check out the artist. I think they did a phenomenal job recording this in terms of levels and everything. There wasn't a whole lot to manipulate, but again, I just wanted to showcase it before and after and what audio actually sounds like. As soon as we go through all those processes, at the very end, I'll have a master. So the final version or public version, I guess, of this track and have it released to you guys so you can have a listen to it. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. If you guys are interested in what I do, and I do mixing, I am a music mentoring as I am a music mentor as well. So if you guys are interested in my services or would like to learn more about music production as a whole, do hit me up and go check out my website at www.volitionmixing.com. And if you need my services, then it's just all the means even better for me and you. All right. So stay tuned for the next set of videos. Hopefully I try to produce more. We'll go from there. See you guys in the next video.